Hello everyone, I welcome all of you to this channel, and today in this video I'm going to talk about CUET verbal abilities section and how parts of speech play an important role in this section. So let's start with the very basics. So basically we are going back to school, we are discussing all those things that you've studied before. Number one here is nouns. Now what exactly is nouns? So we've all played a game called name, place, animal, things when we were back in school. Similarly अभी भी वही चीज कैरी ऑन करना है. जो नेम्स प्लेसेस एनिमल्स और थिंग्स के नेम्स होते हैं उनको हम नाउन्स बोलते हैं. सो एनी पर्सन प्लेस थिंग और आइडिया बेसिकली इट्स डिवाइडेड इनटू प्रॉपर नाउन, कॉमन नाउन, abstract noun, collective noun, and then you can further divide them into material, concrete, countable and uncountable nouns as well. एंड जो सी यू ई टी के लिए ये इम्पोर्टेंट है, कभी कभी एक सेंटेंस दिया जाता है, उसमें से एक चार वर्ड्स को दिया जाता है जिसमें से यू हैव टू पिक विच एग्जैक्टली इज अ नाउन. So for example, I have a sample question for you over here, which reads, to seize a foreign embassy and its inhabitants is flagrant disregard for diplomatic neutrality. Now, like I told you, there are four major types of nouns, which is abstract, collective, common, and proper. Now, if you look at the four options which we have, seize, over here, to seize. So it will not qualify as a noun, but an infinitive because it's to seize. It's over here is showing possessiveness or belonging. Again, it's not a noun. Flagrant disregard is being used here as an adjective. And neutrality, diplomatic neutrality, is the idea. So, abstract noun, and that is why we will choose option D as our answer. So, this is how you have to identify different parts of speech, be it adjectives, be it verb, infinitive, or any other preposition or pronoun. So, going forward, I'm going to talk about pronouns now. So, what are pronouns? Pronouns are basically words which are used to replace the noun in a secondary sentence or a subsequent sentence. They always follow the noun. So if the sentence is Anne is going to the church, she will also bring along her children. So she over here refers to Anne. So Anne is the noun which is being replaced by she, which is a pronoun. Now, there are also different types of pronouns. I'll share some examples: he, she, it, or they. So, relative pronoun, intensive pronoun, reflexive pronoun, demonstrative pronoun. These are some types of pronoun. However, types of pronoun उतना नहीं आता है, but at the same time, you're sometimes given questions like this sample question I have shared here. Which is demonstrative pronoun in this sentence? So you have to find out demonstrative pronoun. Now, as the word says, as the type says, demonstrative, it means something which shows what exactly it is, demonstrates. So those items should be kept carefully. Now we have four options here: be, should, kept, and those. There is only one pronoun over here, which is those. It points directly towards the items. It shows, demonstrates those items, which is why we will pick option D as the answer. Moving on to verbs, now you've heard me talking about it a lot because no sentence is actually in English grammar is actually complete without the use of verbs. And then when you go forward for your preparation, subject verb agreement is inevitably important, and it's imperative to do that topic very well, for which this base has to be very strong. Apart from identify the different parts of speech kind of questions, the knowledge of these parts of speech will also help you with sentence correction kind of questions, and of course your written English communication as well. So verbs are nothing but action words. Action words, and verbs basically show what the subject is doing. So whenever you look at a sentence, pick up the verb, the action word, and ask who or what has been performing that particular task. Then you will get the subject of the sentence. So that's a little about how to find out subjects using verb. Now let's take a sample question from the CUET paper. Identify the linking verb in the following sentence. The cake smells delicious. Now, generally we confuse because we get confused with verbs being only action words and we think action word is doing something. So, if we say she is smelling the perfume, then you will feel is smelling, okay, it's a verb. But the cake smells delicious. How can a cake smell delicious on its own? But it's a linking verb. It's linking the cake and the adjective, which is delicious. So smells is actually the linking verb over here, and thus you eliminate cake, delicious, and the. cake over here is the noun, delicious over here is the adjective, and the over here is the article. Moving on to adjectives. So I've even spoken a lot about adjectives. So these are descriptive words that modify or qualify nouns. They add color, detail to your writing, and you have to be you can be very creative with them. So you can use instead of using big, you can use enormous. It will still remain an adjective, something that is described. Now, one very common myth associated with adjectives is that it always precedes the noun, but that's not important. In the previous question, you saw how it was written, the cake smells good. So, smell and good. So, good smell. So, smells good. It comes, good comes after smells, right? But then also it still remains an adjective, like cake smells good. So, the adjective for cake was good. So, even if it even if it succeeds the noun, it still remains an adjective. So, let's look at a sample question. Choose the correct form of adjective for the given sentence. A competitor in a marathon is a blank runner. So short runner, so that is describing the runner. It's like the runner is short. Long is describing again the runner. The runner is long. We are talking about the marathon. So it will be a long distance runner, not a short or long runner. More than one of the above does not make sense, and none of the above does not make sense, because long distance would be the correct adjective for the word runner over here. Moving on to prepositions. Now these show relationship between other words in a sentence. Words like on, in, under, above, at, these are all prepositions, and it provides context and helps you to get a better and clearer picture of what exactly the sentence says. So let's look at a sample question. It is surprising indeed that he has an access blank all the important leaders of the country. So access about, you have information about, not access about. Access by all the important leaders. So access for हो सकता है, access for this, but why access by? It does not make any sense. Access to leaders is possible when you can reach out to them. Access of all important leaders, these are all living things, and you cannot have access of something. So it will be access to. So option 3 is the right answer.